And welcome back to episode 58 of the Hit the Showers podcast, presented to you by the Foolproof Entertainment Network. As always, I am your host, Clifford Jordan Jennings, here with my point man and co-host, Malcolm Eagles Team Masseuse King.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
He get them knots out. We got OG Mike Brown in the building. What's going on?
What's going on? What's happening, peeps?
Listen, another day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers would always say. We got Jay Mead back in the building. My guy Jay, what's happening?
What's going on?
You good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we good. Okay.
Hey, okay, cool.
Okay. Well, we're here to talk sports, ladies and gentlemen. What do you want to start out with? I know Malk had a lot of words to say about Justin Fields today.
Justin Fields.
Well, why don't we just go ahead and start off with the Philadelphia and Pittsburgh game? Let's get that out of the way.
We can definitely
Let's get that out of the way. So
Mike is stupid.
So I mean, so Najee Harris, what'd you think? What'd you think of him?
I mean,
smooth.
What you got, Malk? Go ahead.
He's smooth.
I mean, I think everybody knew he was going to come out the gates being some sort of playmaker in the backfield. I think he definitely looked good in the game, but I don't think that really showed what he was capable of. It was kind of
sample size.
Right, it was a very small one, and it was kind of clunky. You know what I mean? Like the game itself was a little clunky, so it wasn't a lot of pretty plays that I saw. So I think once the field opens up for him a bit, people really gonna be seeing something with Najee.
Yeah.
You said what, Jay?
It is pretty.
Your mic breaking up a little bit, but right now, I mean, this is that's the point, to get used to all that. My fault. Hold up, somebody's texting me.
Yeah. Why you hating, Mike? You got to worry about whatever your Raiders is going to do.
We play Seattle.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah.
But you know what was funny about that game is I definitely thought that Jalen Hurts was going to get the QB1 position when he came out starting that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get that QB1 position when he came out starting that game. And then I seen Flacco come in, and I said, not so fast there, Jalen. Not so fast there, Jalen. I think Flacco might have...
Yeah, it's like he got something to prove, don't he?
Flacco...
He's mad. He had a little attitude, you know, when they say he's going to be the backup. He's like, hold up, I've been in the league this long, and y'all just going to call me a backup?
Right.
Yeah, Nick Foles, we're going to call you a backup, man. That's what you do. Okay.
You said y'all Nick Foles. We're gonna call you.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Did you forget? Once again, not even Dan Marino can sit at the same table as Nick Foles. You know what I mean? You talking about Super Bowl ring? You talk about y'all sit here. Oh, you ain't get one. You ain't. spot for you over there.
Y'all back on the Nick Well, you know what? It's funny though, because you would think that you would have a little bit more respect for Flacco,
Right.
being that you like Nick Foles so much like that. Because isn't he in the same situation?
No, he's not. They're not even in the same conversation. It's a matter of fact situation. Joe Flacco,
No.
I never liked.
He got a
Flacco.
Super Bowl. He's got a
Yeah,
Super
he
Bowl.
got one too. So they in the same.
never. Man, listen. Even the one Antetokounmpo brother got a Super Bowl ring. I mean, NBA championship ring. I don't mean that.
But
you
Flacco started the whole season and won that championship.
His defense. Let's not forget that's right before Ray Lewis and Ed Reed retired. His defense took it over the top and helped obtain that championship. He did play a small factor in that. But Joe Flacco has never been an outstanding quarterback to me. That's way before.
I mean, but
that
you could say the same about Nick. Like you could say the stars aligned for him that night, and that's how he got that done. Because that was probably one of the best performances of his life. That Super Bowl.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
But the fact that what I'm saying is, if Joe Flacco was in that same situation against the Patriots and the Tom Brady, would he have done that, let alone won the championship and the Super Bowl MVP?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. That's all speculation.
We don't know. But
that's allegedly.
I would have been willing to bet that Joe Flacco would not have had the same accomplishment.
I mean,
he's got a Super Bowl. He can sit at your table, Malcolm. Okay.
Really, well, let's be clear. It's not Malcolm's table, but the hypothetical table that Malcolm speaks of.
Right.
He can pull a seat up too.
He said it's always my table.
But my point was when I said that he's in the same position as Nick Foles, he's that quarterback that's following the young man that has something to prove. I mean, you may be right, and Jalen Hurts may be the guy starting all season. And then Flacco would be your Nick Foles if anything were to happen to Jalen. And you would want somebody with the confidence of either to step in that position. And right now, based on that preseason game, it's clear that he has confidence. I'm wondering I think he's shooting for more than Nick Foles. I think he's really trying to get in to be one of those old head quarterbacks that's back there this year. This may be the oldest year average quarterback age in the history of the NFL.
Good luck, Mr. Flacco. Good luck.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Good luck, Mr. Joe Flacco. Hey, if he wins his ball games, I'm not gonna complain. Don't get me wrong. But the way I see it, I just don't see him being our guy to really get it done.
I mean, Jalen didn't look bad, but he just couldn't move that ball. That ball wasn't moving.
Also, my boy is out. He's hurt still. He hasn't got a chance to have his debut yet, Mr. Devontae Smith. So who knows what'll happen once he comes back? Maybe Jalen's been working with him heavy, and he didn't have any confidence in anybody else to really try to get the ball to. But I mean, we'll see.
I mean, but you still got Sammy Watkins out there, and
I forgot that I didn't know we had actually picked him up when they said his name. I
feel like they'll end up being similar players.
Right.
Like
we still got Alshon Jeffrey's punk ass too, but he's always hurt. So.
But I don't know. I think at the rate that it's going based off that one preseason game, I think Jalen Hurts still has a fight on his hand to get that starting spot.
You're going to have to prove himself.
Yeah, I don't think anything's solidified at the moment. I definitely don't think the coach is being diplomatic. I think Flacco has a legit shot. He just looks smooth out there.
Jalen Hurts said rent's due every day, and he's willing to pay it. I believe him. His teammates believe him. The veterans believe him. They say he's just a natural born leader in their eyes. He's got a lot of people backing him up on the field right now. So, but yeah, Flacco outshines. Again, I'm all for it, but I like to see what Jalen can do. I like to see what these young guys can do.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? It's time for the old guard to pass the torch. That's what we're here for, to see these young bucks play, see what the future of the NFL's going to come to look like.
Right.
But I'm not mad at seeing these old dogs put up a fight. Like, I'm not done yet. Don't count me out. I feel like I feel like in a way that's more dangerous.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you got an old quarterback that's been in almost every position they can in between those hashes, then you know that your chances are you're in good hands, regardless of who it is. Whether it's Flacco, I wouldn't put. I mean, maybe there's not a whole lot. Of course, you got your Flaccos, your Bradys, your Rodgers is what, 39?
Tannehill.
Yeah, he's up there.
Tannehill's up there. How old is he?
He's 30.
I was
Late
30s. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was a few more than that, but even still, that's impressive when you look at quarterbacks. Well, I guess this NFL is a little more geared towards them, you know.
Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger's 38.
That's who I was thinking of.
Aaron Rodgers is 37. Ryan Tannehill's 32.
32. No, that's
He's
prime.
not too old then.
Yeah, that's still prime. You're still prime at that point, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
but Roethlisberger was the one I was thinking of that I couldn't. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a dangerous thing when you got a veteran quarterback that's been in that long, especially playing at that level. Because out of all those people that you named, they're all pretty decent quarterbacks as well.
Yeah.
At least decent.
Right. At least decent. So when you have that many reps, it almost becomes like muscle memory.
mm-hmm.
And I don't want to really just use the word muscle memory because it's more than that. You know what I mean? Like your mind is still reading the field. But I guarantee you, once you've been playing in the league as long as they have, they probably know what the play's going to be walking out of the huddle.
Right.
Like, I see which way his feet are turning. He's about to line up. And, yeah, I got y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even need to see y'all's line up. I know what's about to happen here.
More knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
All right.
What you got, Mike?
No, I was Gary. I wasn't trying to change on y'all, but I was going to go to the next one. Like that Washington and the Patriots game.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, they want him bad. I don't see Cam. I don't see Cam being there long. I really don't.
I mean,
they want Mac Jones. That's Belichick's. That's how he does it.
His newfound son.
Yeah, that's his new Ferrari.
Right.
Well, hold up. Before we do move it on, I do want to point out that I thought that, once again, I really do think that Rudolph and Haskins, for that matter, are good backups to have.
Yeah, Rudolph for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, man. I think that they were out there throwing it. They my thing is when I'm looking at a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, and I'm not saying Rudolph still falls into that category so much as Haskins does. I look at how comfortable they look out there. You know what I mean? And I just feel like he's comfortable back there, and I don't even know if it's so much his quarterback senses. You know how like they say a quarterback can usually sense somebody coming from the blind side and all that. I don't even know that it's that when I look at Haskins. I don't think he's dumb. I just think he's out there playing, like not even really thinking, just playing.
Like backyard football.
Right.
You think so you think you got a problem with the playbook then? Reading the playbook? Haskins?
I don't know.
That was one of his issues in Washington.
Did they?
Really?
Reading the playbook and studying film.
Yeah, because he's out partying, right?
He's also an Ohio State quarterback.
Uh-oh.
And they crack in the NFL. I mean, it's proven time.
I'll be forgetting about Haskins. Haskins can break the curse too.
No.
Haskins had his chance.
Yeah, he already had his
he's still a young boy. He can break that curse.
Haskins elevated the curse. He didn't even make it through his rookie deal with the same team.
And don't get started, because what happened to JT Barrett last time checked, he was on the Saints, and he's not there.
Well,
no,
he was never
more.
brought into the league to be a quarterback in the first place.
Who was it?
J.T. Barrett.
They had him at
Had you
quarterback.
said Braxton
Man,
Miller, maybe.
The J.T. Barrett, they ain't keeping him as
He
no
was-
quarterback.
But
Nobody looked at him as a real
wasn't he
option,
the wasn't he the quarterback though of Ohio State?
Yeah.
The whole time.
But how many
I mean, what
quarterbacks?
happened?
How many quarterbacks at Ohio State are now wide receivers?
Well,
I don't know. You tell me.
How many quarterbacks
Yeah.
at Ohio State are no longer in the league?
Well, I mean, regardless.
Where's
You're a
Troy
smart
Smith
aleck.
at? Is he selling cards too?
Right.
Regardless.
They
What's his
worried about
name?
getting tattoos.
Maurice Collette.
Listen,
Yeah,
y'all got
where's he
one.
at? He ready to clap on somebody.
Who got one?
Y'all got one.
Ain't Henny still in the league?
Is Chad Henne still in the league?
Tom Brady, the best quarterback, is still in the league. That counts for about 15.
Man, y'all got one.
He's not in there.
Hey,
Y'all got one. I don't even want to count Henny. Y'all got 1.5.
All right.
Jay is stupid.
Really ain't that
Y'all
many.
got
but
1.5.
Tom Brady's enough to compensate.
At least Ohio State.
I was gonna say all of your quarterbacks combined coming from Ohio State can't match up to half of what he's done.
Right.
Who?
Tom Brady.
Go.
Or Greasy. Or Henny. You pick.
Man, you stop it.
Where'd
Oh, no,
Greasy
no,
come
yeah.
from?
Greasy was Michigan.
Who is that?
Bob.
Brian Greasy.
Brian Greasy.
Brian. Okay.
Greasy?
He didn't last long. He was at Denver, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
still lasted longer than Ohio State.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, well, they never moved him to a wide receiver, so he didn't.
Because he could actually throw a ball.
We last. We just they changed their positions on him.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going with?
That's what
Yeah. Yeah, they go from quarterbacks to wide receivers.
Yeah.
You know, we had one in
Brittany.
Oakland. That time we had one in Oakland.
Who, Pryor?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean,
Turned into wide receiver.
he
Yeah, he turned into a wide receiver. He had to come in training camp.
And he had what, a
next
year and a
team.
half of really good years, and then got shut down by Pac-Man.
Yeah, well, he was when they played. He had it when
He
they
did have a
played for the
decent year.
Browns.
Braxton did too on the low.
Maybe in college. I don't remember him in the NFL. Was he a return man?
On the
No, he was a receiver.
Texans.
He was
On
a
the
receiver.
Texans.
Oh, I forgot
Well,
he was
came
like their
out on
fourth
the
string in Texas and Houston.
Browns,
Right, but then he ended up going to the Texans.
and he started making
Yeah.
noise with the Browns, and then he got shipped off.
Yeah.
Around the time
Oh.
they got Odell.
But I will
No, it was
say,
a little before then.
I was gonna say it was a nice bit
Yeah,
before
it was
then.
a little before then.
I was giving Justin Fields a hard time when I talked to you earlier, Cliff.
Right.
Mike and I are watching the game, but
Right.
Mike will tell you once that second half came on, them jitters went away. Hey, he was lighting the field up, wasn't
he
he,
was
Mike?
doing something.
Yes, he looked pretty good.
He
Looked
was
pretty
doing
good.
something.
Putting points on the
Yeah.
board. I'm cheering for him right now. I ain't gonna lie.
He looked better than Mitchell Trubisky.
No,
You know.
yeah. I mean, it was Andy Dalton out there, and Nick Foles. Besides Fields, that's who else.
Oh,
was playing.
Listen, while he
Yes,
was talking, he
here we
looked
go.
better than Jalen Hurts.
He did. I know he definitely did.
But he
you know
also
what?
got
has
more
to-
time too.
and he has more to work. Yeah, and he has more to work with though.
Neither one of them had that comfort that I was talking about though when I said like Haskins just looks comfortable, and that may be from the fact that, like you said, he might not be best with the playbook. Because I noticed that he doesn't go deep too much. He's always hitting what's right in front of him, like
He always has.
Dink and dunk.
That was his shit in college too.
Right.
Yeah, I
Just
guess.
throw a
Yeah.
3-yard pass to Paris Campbell and let him take off.
He has a little bit more accuracy and all that than an average Ohio State quarterback. He can put it out there a little bit. The only other one was the Cardell Jones. He was pretty accurate at one point just couldn't keep his head on straight. Even when he came out that first year in Buffalo, he looked pretty good, and then I don't know what happened after that.
He had the long.
The first year in Buffalo, he was moved to third string.
Right, he had the long bomb, but he was not accurate.
Yeah. I was gonna say they called him 12 gauge.
Well, I'm talking about in Ohio State. I said he was one of the more accurate quarterbacks.
I didn't think so.
I was gonna say I don't know what Cardell Jones you was watching. He lost his job to JT.
Right.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He came out too early. He and JT stayed.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That
He lost
year,
when he won the championship, right?
Right.
Then he was named the starting quarterback the following year. JT bailed his ass out of 2 games. One of them was the Penn State game. Y'all was behind. And then JT ended up taking over midway through.
They used to do like a they
don't
played
play
them
quarterback system.
Yeah.
Don't play that. I was waiting for them to get to it. No, don't play that. They did
because it wasn't never
that Justin Swick.
It wasn't never no JT just started while Cardell was there.
He did have a point.
What?
That ain't happened.
JT
ain't just start while Cardell was there.
JT
right. They had to ride the guy that just won the championship.
Left. He was happy.
I need to go look that up again, man.
Nah, I know.
I'm serious.
I know.
Cardell lost his job because he was about as accurate as a 12 gauge.
Nah, he had
sound like DeMarcus Russell to me.
He had a lot more accuracy
pretty much
than anybody else out there. Than any Barrett, Pryor, or Miller.
Hey, Barrett holding records right now. What you mean?
Because he played 6 years.
That's cute, but he ain't start most of those. Braxton started the first 2.
I hear you.
And then he got hurt for a whole year. Why am I defending your boy?
I think that ain't my boy.
His team.
That ain't my boy. I think Barrett was one of the worst quarterbacks we had there.
No.
You ain't been watching too long then.
Right. That's
I've been watching. JT Barrett is not it. Yeah, you gonna break records when you stay in the motherfucking to school for 5 years.
But you know damn well you only eligible for 4.
Man, listen. It don't matter.
Still...
What Ohio State quarterback out of all the ones we named stayed longer than 3? And most of them
y'all didn't even name my personal favorite.
Who?
Troy
Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always gonna be my favorite quarterback, Ohio State quarterback. But
what'd he do?
He was a dude I hated to love.
He was just undersized.
He went to the Ravens and couldn't see over the offensive line, so
and they
cut him.
He went to the Ravens and got sick.
He got sick.
Play my boy like that. Yeah, he got sick. He got like really, really sick.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
By the way, Brittany,
that's how Flacco won the starting job.
Is that right?
We all agreed, Brittany. Browns is going 4-13.
Who's we? Listen, nobody would.
Speaking for his motherfucking
yeah, I was about to say nobody would agree with that.
Baker Mayfield's gonna run out of his luck that he had last year.
Luck? I think he's past the luck stage.
I think I'd agree.
I think he's way past the luck stage. You said the Browns, but you meant to say the Eagles.
No,
that's what that was. You said the Browns, but you meant to say the Eagles.
Mayfield feel like he gotta get Odell that ball anytime he can.
Now that does mess him up. That is a legitimate claim.
He can't do that.
But he's a playmaker, though. He's a playmaker. Odell's a playmaker, man. You gotta get that ball to him, man.
No, you don't gotta.
He always gets hurt. He always gets hurt, though.
You got to get the ball to who's open.
Right,
and I hate when he tries to force the ball to Odell, because Odell is, he was, a top, I ain't going to say was, he's still a top-notch wide receiver, but, with that comes demands. You know what I'm saying? Like, that comes demands where I should get at least 12 touches a game, et cetera, et cetera. Right. You know how that goes. So, I'm sure he felt some pressure coming into it, like, this is Odell Beckham Jr. He ain't no joke. So, trying to be the guy that, is liked by everybody, he probably felt a lot of pressure to get him that ball with who he was dealing with, based off of who he was dealing with.
Nigga, all I can say is you seen what the fuck happened out there while you was sitting out that season. You better shut the fuck up and play your role.
Right. That's why, I mean, that's what it is now, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying coming into it, he hadn't set out that they hadn't seen what the magic yet. So,
right.
But so yeah, I mean, he got some leverage now. So hopefully Baker is like eased up. But I mean, we'll see. I think they're gonna be all right for real. I think they're gonna be all right this year together.
We're gonna see about that defense.
Ooh.
Who did they get? Didn't they get what's the name?
Couple pickups.
Once you tell me, let me know. Or once you figure it out, let me know.
Nah, the one
you talking about Clowney?
Nah, not Clowney. The rookie that y'all got, a linebacker that I was waiting. That I said
The dude from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nice.
He is. Damn, I can't think of his name.
Awuasu hyphen something.
Yeah.
That dude.
I wanted the Raiders to get him, but y'all got him. And y'all got a couple other picks that they got on defense that I think should help out a little bit. I think that this may be their year. If last year wasn't, this year definitely is. I will say that.
Last year was our year. I mean,
y'all better hope last year wasn't y'all's year. I'm
not saying it was our only year, but I'm saying we did well.
But we know how
we did well.
Works. They get there and you don't hear about them again for another 2 moons. 300. What?
Hashtag Cleveland Guardians.
Listen, y'all,
Cavaliers.
What I'm saying is it'll be another couple decades before you hear about Cleveland.
Yeah, they did.
Last year they pushed all that. They proved us wrong last year.
So they got how long? So what's they token read? How many days clean does they token read? Because I feel like it's only a matter of time for the motherfuckers relapses Cleveland. That's like talking about time before. And don't get me wrong, I'm a Raiders fan as well. They fuck shit up also.
The Browns do it in a different type of way. It's beyond just losing a game. You know what I'm saying? The Browns get down to the 1 yard line, be down by 1 point. All they need is a field goal and figure out how to miss the field goal off the 1 yard line type deal. So we'd
lose to some shitty call. The Raiders would, you know.
Hey. But I don't know but I feel like that's on them as well because they used to lead the league in calls per game, right? Mm-hmm. So when you like that, then refs automatically assume you're on the shit end of that stick.
That's perfect. Felt that.
Who knocking?
Somebody knocking that door.
Man,
my neighbor working on his car.
That don't sound like a sound for a car.
Yeah, they do. It's something with the car they was out there doing.
Anyways, back to what I was saying. Justin Fields looked solid a couple times today. What I've seen, like calm, cool, collect on a run, broke a couple tackles, ran in for the score. Like he was right.
So Malcolm, are you with me? Do you feel like at some point throughout the season he will make his way to the starting position, even if it's due to injury? If
I see Justin Fields either A, play the way that he played today overall, or to your point, B, naturally because there's an injury, yes, I do see either one definitely happening. I'm cheering for Fields now. What I saw today, like, I want to see more of that. Like, I want to see him, like I was telling Cliff, like, I want to see the young guys take over. Like, some of these old heads.
He was spinning and fumbling. He
did. And I'm sorry that history has conditioned me with Ohio State quarterbacks.
Don't blame it on that.
Now, I mean, it's true.
You got a bad eye, Ricky Rose. That's why you got them glasses on.
Yeah, you better tell him.
You ain't no boss, nigga.
Yeah, you better tell him about these Ohio State quarterbacks, man.
I ain't gotta tell him. He know.
Right. But I'm cheering for Fields, though. Hey, listen, greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady. I'm just saying.
I don't agree with that, but it's up.
And he won 6th round. Well, you don't agree that he's a GOAT, Jay? Is that what you're saying? You don't agree?
I don't.
Who you giving
who the GOAT?
Me is Drew.
Drew
Brees? The man that Brady beat?
I mean, what are you basing
which time?
What you mean?
When he beat him twice.
Hold on, he's beaten Drew Brees since Purdue. You don't remember that comparison they did after the year Drew Brees retired? Saying the damn poor Drew, he's been getting beat by Brady since he was at Purdue.
I do remember.
But when did he lose to him in Last time I checked, last year he was 2-1 against Brady.
Breeze has been losing to Brady since college.
But
Not
yeah,
the
I don't
numbers
know.
game.
It definitely not the numbers game. See, that's what I'm saying. Like when you do. What was you about to say, Brittany?
No, I was listening, but I just want to hear Jay's explanation on why Drew Brees is the GOAT.
Well, I was just going to say, when you do look at the stats, when you put the stats down there, it's a lot closer of a bubble with the Rodgers, Brees, Brady conversation.
The fact that y'all going to even leave out Peyton Manning's name off the conversation. Potential.
Whoa, who's y'all? That was
what about? Yeah, I mean, what about?
Well, I was talking about you know, well, I guess Breeze isn't currently active anymore, but I was talking about the active.
I
wasn't including Peyton because he wasn't.
Okay,
active,
I was nervous for a minute.
But yeah, no, I don't even know about like the GOAT conversation. I mean, yeah, I think I will give it to Brady myself, but
7 rings.
But I could see.
I'm
definitely more of a Rodgers guy, but I feel like I gotta give it to Brady as far as that GOAT conversation goes.
I mean, to answer her thing, she asked for an explanation. So when it comes to Breeze, there was a lot of things that never really went in his favor. For example, when they finally did win the ring, they disbanded the whole team with Bounty Gate. Never really giving him a chance to relive for a second ring until later. I mean, they felt some of those sanctions. Sean Payton, the head coach, was suspended that entire year to the point where they were talking about he might go to the Browns. So he never got some of the things that Brady had. Brady got a lot of slaps on the wrist. This man did harder time.
Dan Marino never got either of the things that either one of them had.
And you're not wrong. But
he can throw. He's in the books. He's in the record books, though. Dan Marino.
For me, Breeze, his numbers, and it's kind of like the Jordan conversation. We could talk about LeBron versus Jordan all we want to, but at the end of the day, did you do what he did in the time he did it? And for me, Breeze is that dude. He did it with less. He did it with less all around him, coaching and players, and then that's my take on it. Brady's
Jenkins,
like close second.
Malcolm Jenkins, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. Let's talk about the defense. What's the
Cameron Wake?
Hayward.
Cameron Wake?
No, not Cameron Wake. Hell no, Cameron Jordan.
Yeah,
the Buck guy. Right. You talking about the dude from Ohio State?
No, it's Cameron Jordan. My whole point is Drew Brees, since he's been on the Saints, Jay's always had a squad. Always had a playoff squad.
When your best, until you got Michael Thomas, your best guy was Marquez Colston. Come on now.
And they still were a playoff team. They were always a playoff team. You know how many teams Brady had to win?
But did Marquez Colston do that without Breeze? Like,
probably not.
I mean, there ain't no probably not.
I've never seen a single person line up on that offense that is a Randy Moss.
Besides
he
Michael
never was
Thomas
to a Randy Moss. Michael Thomas not even close to Moss yet.
He's not close. Thomas is one of the best.
Who's close to Moss though?
I mean, Moss is like third on the list.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson would be.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's not a good comparison.
But that
because
my point is
because Tom
Breeze
Brady
never
has
had
done
a
it
Moss
without.
Thank you, Brittany. Wes Welker.
I mean, one of the greatest slot receivers of all time.
Brady also never won with Moss either.
He did not.
He actually did not win it with Moss. He lost that year.
He didn't. You're right.
With Moss.
Yeah, I disagree. I do think
still
that
had some good numbers.
He did.
The Saints had a good team. One of his
best years.
The Saints have always had a good team since Breeze has been there. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're always playoff worthy.
That's what I'm saying. They're a good team, but they've never been. You're not talking about one of the best defenses year in and year out. You know what I mean? After they disbanded that defense.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To me, they've always been.
They got an all right defense, even last year.
Yeah, last year they got good again.
And I don't know if. Yeah, I guess. Well, I think it was more so the DBs, but I was about to say I wouldn't say that the Patriots ever had an exceptional defense.
What?
They did back in the Richards Seymour, Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis days.
We was talking about that earlier, Malcolm.
And then you have Vince Wilfork at one point. Like
Vince Wilfork. Yeah,
bro, they've always
Rodney
had a nice
Harrison.
DB.
Rodney Harrison clip.
Oh,
Remember
okay,
him?
yeah, I
Light
do.
skin cat.
Yeah.
Boy.
That one dude,
Bro, they always have-
The Patriots definitely had good defense.
Hell yeah.
No, they definitely had good defense and good defensive schemes. But
Right.
my thing is this: I feel like this. If you put Drew Brees in the GOAT category, I feel like you got to put other people in there too. Like it just can't be one GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if he qualifies for,
yeah, I think I agree with that statement.
if he qualifies for GOAT,
I don't disagree with it.
if he qualifies as being the GOAT, I feel like you got to throw a couple other people in there as well.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers got to be the GOAT.
Yeah, you can't.
you
know what I'm saying? Like,
you can't say Drew Brees without writing an explanation or a rationale under it. Certain things you can just write down as your GOAT, and then others you gotta say, well, the reason is.
But the numbers will speak for themselves, you guys. The numbers will speak for themselves.
When you lead the most statistical categories related to a quarterback, to me, you are the GOAT.
Just because you threw a couple 5,000-yard seasons, to me, don't make you
a couple.
Man,
5,000-yard season.
Hey, if you throw,
hold on.
if you throw 8, bro, if you throw 8,
hold on. How many rings has Ben Roethlisberger have?
2.
1, 2.
Yeah,
Does he got 2?
No, they got 2. He got 2.
Yeah, he was there in the first ring.
Didn't they win? Yeah.
With Cowher.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Anybody can really be in the category with Breeze. I think it comes down to those rings at the end of the day.
Well, that's what I was about to say. If you're comparing it to rings, then yes, there is a lot of people in the category. But like Jay saying, when you look at the numbers, it's not.
Your body of work overall.
Yeah, it's not.
Like we talking about a dude who was robbed of an MVP. Like, for what?
I mean,
shit crazy.
That's what San Diego wasn't it?
Nah, he was robbed of the MVP when he was with St. Louis. I can't remember what year it was. It was the year Peyton got it. But he led every category related to quarterbacks. So how does Peyton get it?
What was his record, though?
Yeah, I think
believe they went to the NFC Championship.
Don't get me to lying.
I would look at what his record was, and I would have to see what Peyton Manning's stats were. So let's say they was close, even though he's leading, and let's say they were close, but Peyton Manning's team has the winning record. I would go with Peyton Manning because to me that's saying that not only am I able to lead in the stats category, I'm also getting my team the victory, which is what matters at the end. So I would have to see those stats before, I just jump on the bandwagon of he was robbed. I mean, he could have well been.
Maybe. I
just have to see the stats, me personally, to say that, because at the end of the day, I don't care how great your stats are if you can't get your team the win, and we know that it falls on the quarterback. So my thing is, like, if you don't get those wins, if you don't have all the Super Bowls, and we know Tom Brady's stats are not the best. Like when you look at his stats, if you play fantasy football, things like that, like he does not rack them in like that. So, but he's getting the job done. And that's what matters at the end of the day. It's going to come down to wins. That's why I feel like I cannot say Drew Brees is the GOAT. I can't even put him in the running because I would have to put so many other people in the running with him.
Right.
Got you.
Makes sense. That's fair. That's definitely a fair.
Yeah.
That's definitely a fair statement.
I guess it depends on the category. We're talking about stacks, we're talking about rings, we talk about certain aspects of the game.
And that's the thing, though. That's the thing when people. See,
that's the thing. Why don't we just go with stats?
But see, that's.
I mean, I understand you get rings. I mean, I understand that, but
see,
you play to win.
Here's the thing,
though,
your
stats.
Whenever somebody is arguing for their specific person that they choose, you never include the overall. You know what I mean? You always argue to your point. It's either going to be stats or rings. But it can't be both because it's too hard to calculate that. You know what I mean? It's too hard to calculate the rings, but what was done without them to trump them. Because a lot of that's situational throughout the season as well. To Brittany's point, if you're getting the wins, then chances are you're coming up big in those situational battles. Now, does that come down to stats? There's no stat for that.
Right.
For wins?
No,
he's saying like the situational
battles where it's like, now that was a pivotal point you needed to get your team through, and you did it, but there's no stat for that. That could have just been a first down.
Right.
And
right.
That's why it's so hard to judge it as a whole, including rings and stats. So it's always going to be a ring stat argument.
Right.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that. I believe in a lot of players, especially like in basketball, not to kind of like change the subject, but that there are players that just do not have the stats to go with their impact on the game. Somebody made a comment on Facebook the other day saying that they felt like there were about 50 players better than Draymond Green. And I'm like, there technically are not 50 players better than Draymond Green in the NBA right now, unless you're basing it on scoring ability. If you're basing it strictly off of scoring ability, then you could probably name 50 players that are better than him. But if we're just talking about the overall game and what you do, there are not 50 players better than Draymond Green. And it's because people can make that argument or put those statements out there just simply because he's what I call a cleanup guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have the big games. He's not going to drop 40 points for you. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people don't see the unseen, if that makes sense.
Draymond Green is Golden State's housewife. You know what I mean? Like, she holds it all together. I don't mean she. He holds it all together, and you don't always see the things that they do to keep it going.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to be disrespectful and compare him to a housewife.
I didn't mean it like that.
I understand where you're coming. There's a way that we, like, women can, like, hold things together for the household, make things run smoothly, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, and it's not always seen. It can't be put in maybe like financial terms. So I understand that what you're trying to say. I do think he is the glue. I do think he contributes way more than what people know.
No, I agree. I agree with that statement. I think that could be controversial because I know a lot of people that are like, nah, he ain't shit. But I think
some people feel that way.
He comes through when he needs to.
For sure. But with football, I think that's basically like the gist of what you were saying, though.
Yeah, it's too hard to judge all that. Because
I don't disagree.
Even like you
said, I just said I don't think it's Brady.
Even like you
if
said,
I had to go with somebody, it's Breeze.
Right. And I respect that. I definitely respect that choice.
That.
I like hearing anybody say somebody other than Brady because it lets me know you think differently. You know what I mean? I just want to know how you build your case. But when you say a different name, it's like, okay, huh?
We talked about this the other day about somebody else you and I know. We only know a handful of Bengals fans. Remember we talked about a person, he said he thinks differently. We had a conversation the other day, and I said, well, he's a Bengals fan. We laughed and said we only know a handful of Bengals fans. With Jay being a Bengals fan, I don't expect him to think in a traditional mindset. That's why I respect him too. His mindset, his ideas are going to be astronomical because he's a Bengals fan. You know what I mean? Now, by the way, Jay, Chad Johnson, aside from Randy Moss, is my favorite wide receiver of all time. So shout out to him.
Really?
Back on the Bengals. Yeah, them two always inspired me growing up. Randy Moss and Chad Johnson.
Did you play wide receiver?
Kind of side note, just his foot. I did in middle school. Like, just his footwork. Like, I tried to study his footwork and everything. His footwork was just impeccable. Yeah, insane. Like,
he's still a bad.
You seen that documentary, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Everyone and the podcast he does with his homies, I watched that too.
With who is it? Brandon Marshall and
the other crazy wide receiver. Yeah, Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, he was good.
I am athlete.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the show. I watch that show all the time.
More than the, yeah, one. Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I've seen or listened to or seen a whole episode, but I have seen some of it. It seems interesting.
It gets deep.
For sure. Speaking of wins, let me ask you guys this, because I was thinking about this when we were talking a few moments ago. You said that Drew Brees was robbed based off of his stats, right, Jay?
Pretty much.
So, do you feel like Russell Westbrook is being robbed?
I feel like Russell Westbrook does it to himself.
So what is the determining factor now? Because if we're looking at stats,
Russell Westbrook is this dude who in the beginning of the season doesn't look the same as he does when he becomes playoff Russ. MVP Russ and playoff Russ are two very different players. Like MVP Russ looks great, but he's not winning games. And that was
well, that's
one
what
of the
I'm
things.
saying though. Because I mean, if you look at it from your perspective, like if I'm taking your perspective and I'm just looking at stats, like what he's doing, all the triple doubles, stuff like that. Like if I'm looking at
about Westbrook.
Yeah.
I thought you said Wilson. My bad. How'd you go?
No, I switched back over to the basketball category because my mind went there.
I was like, you gotta give me a heads up, you know.
My bad. I thought I said his full name.
So.
I said Westbrook. My bad. I should have said.
I still feel like your statements apply, Jay, even to Russell Westbrook. Aside from
Westbrook. So with Westbrook, I don't feel like he's getting robbed, and I really will say that he does it to himself. One of the biggest categories that man leads in and year out is turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
You are right about that.
And that is a huge impact on what he does.
You are right about that.
His numbers are insane. I remember one year when he was averaging the triple double, he almost had the quadruple double with the turnovers.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
It was bad.
That's
like
tough.
Russell Westbrook to me is not getting robbed. He's doing it to himself.
But one thing I will say is,
but he does have an MVP though.
One thing I will say is in those seasons where he was averaging the triple double and all that was also when he was with OKC and they were in a very clear rebuilding process. So I'll say that now that he is with the squad like this in LA, you kind of got to cut back on the stats and be a lot more efficient, right? Because you got other players on that squad that can make something happen without, like with the ball in their hands alone. You feel what I'm saying? It's not just going to be an easy assist for you. Sometimes you're going to have to pass the ball off and just move out the way and stand back.
And not only that, now you're going to be on a team where people got to focus on somebody other than you. So you're not going to have those wide open guys all the time. This isn't Dwight Howard in Orlando no more. You know what I mean? Like they're not all clamping on one.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
This is going to be an interesting season for him because with that being said, him having to be so efficient, it's going to cut back on his amount of opportunities as well. And if you fuck this up too, then people can now see you as, oh no, you were that guy. Like, you can say before I was the only one there, I had to do what I had to do, but now that you're not and you're not hitting when you need to be, now you're that guy. I don't want it to be that. I'm a Russell Westbrook fan, but I can definitely see people saying, yeah, you're that guy.
I think that a lot of people have brought up that argument, but I think this is going to work well. And I mean, of course, I'm speculating because I haven't seen it, but I think it's going to work well based off of what I feel like LeBron needs and wants. I think Russell is going to be able to provide that. He wants somebody that is going to go out there and drop 35 points, because there are games where he just can't do it. Right. And I think he needs that type of that just like a Batman Robin thing. I don't even want to call it like a Batman Robin thing because I think it's going to be more of like the
Batman,
playing
Robin,
field.
Nightwing.
You know,
Like,
huh? Who in Nightwing?
Batman, Robin, Nightwing. Like you still
really?
got AD. Did we forget about AD?
No, I'm not saying. That's why I was trying to figure out a way to put it out there, like to give an example. Because even though LeBron is going to be the leader of the team, I don't think he's going to necessarily be the leader of the team. I don't think he's going to lead in stats. I wouldn't be surprised if Russell Westbrook led in stats, then AD, then LeBron. Like I think there is going to be there might be a shift that people didn't really see coming. Like I think that LeBron would be okay with Russell Westbrook being the leading scorer of the team.
I'm sure.
He was okay with Anthony Davis being the leading scorer.
I don't know if Anthony Davis would be okay with that, but I'm sure LeBron would definitely be okay with that. And I do think that this is the best situation for him. I'll say that as well.
It is for Russ.
Right. That's what I was saying. I do think that. And then to be around all those veteran players and Russell still a few, maybe 4 years up under that. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like playing in a time machine, right? Like when you always used to say, if I only knew then what I know now type shit. But you're in a position where all the niggas that know now where you're headed. And you're on a team with all of them collectively. The Melos, the LeBrons. Fuck it, the Wayne Ellingtons. My nigga's about to be 36. That nigga seems like he's been in the league forever.
I mean, he's same age as Bron. Bron, 36.
But LeBron's also a different specimen, right? Even though Wayne's a guard. I mean, he used to be a dunker and all that. But
before the injury.
Right, all of that. And the fact, I'm glad you brought that up. The fact that you came back from all of that. All of that is vital information that could be very beneficial to a player like Russell Westbrook. And sometimes you need to take your foot off of the gas to be more efficient. And I think playing with players like this now will get him to that. It almost, Russell Westbrook reminds me of, you remember that the Mexican dude from the Mighty Ducks that couldn't ever stop? He was the fastest. His name was Rodriguez. He was the fastest on the ice. And the coach put the cans up and made him try to stop in front of the cans and he couldn't ever. That's Russell. It's like
his uncontrolled chaos.
Right? If you could just control it a bit, you could be a lot more effective. And I think this is the perfect team to do that.
But here's my question when it comes to the Lakers, right? I just sent you something too, Cliff. But my question with Russell is, he doesn't play well with the ball out of his hands.
Right.
Right. And now you go into a system where you got a guy who can't seem to play without it in his hands as well. LeBron's never been known to play with ball dominant guards.
Yeah, you're right.
So he doesn't work well with others that prefer the ball. So at some point, are we going to see that clash of those two?
I don't think that we will. And the reason why I say that is because LeBron does like to control the tempo of the game, right? But I think that just comes down to he doesn't see the greatness. Well, I shouldn't say that. You know how like sometimes where it's just like, you know what, if you want to get something done, you do it yourself. And I feel like LeBron is just betting on himself. You know what I'm saying? Like the second best player on the team is AD. He's not going to bring the ball down. So it's like, all right, well, if that's the second best player on the team, I'll just take it then. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that LeBron is going to be okay with letting Russell be ball dominant if he wants to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's going to be okay with that. And I feel like that's what was that? No, I was gonna say I feel like that's what, when they were in the playoffs and AD went down, like that was what was missing. He needed somebody to take. LeBron needed someone else to try and take charge. You know what I'm saying? Like another person
that this year.
Yeah, like he needed someone else to get out there that can go hard in the paint that they got to be worried about. Like literally, if I'm Phoenix and I'm playing the Lakers without AD, besides LeBron, who are you worried about? I'm not worried about nobody else on that team, on this past year's team, if I'm an opposing team to the Lakers.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about anybody. And LeBron realized that, like, okay, I'm not as young. He doesn't consider himself old, but I'm not as young as I was. It's a little bit harder for me to dominate like I did. I need some help in these areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need some help. So I feel like he saw that loud and clear. Now, AD goes down. You still got to worry about LeBron. You still got to worry about Russell. If LeBron goes down, you still got to worry about AD. You still got to worry about Russell. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like, I feel like it's going to be a good fit despite their style of play in the past. And another thing that I want to say about the Lakers, and I think that this is another reason I think they're going to be successful. A lot of players have a hard time playing with LeBron. That's why you don't see them going to wherever he's at.
Right.
The fact that all these players went there willingly is always a good sign for LeBron to win a championship. You know what I'm saying? If you have that mindset of like D-Wade, where it's like, you know what? I'm okay with taking a seat back and letting LeBron do his thing. I'm going to do my thing in the way I can get. I'm going to get in where I can fit in. Right. And he likes being there with LeBron. Once LeBron as a teammate, man, that is a recipe for success for LeBron James. Russell Westbrook wants to be LeBron James' teammate. AD wanted to be LeBron James' teammate, and you see what they did. They went and got a ring. So I think he's going to do the same thing with Russell. If he gets some people with talent that want to be on the same team with him, it's going to be a wrap.
What you mean if?
I was going to say it's all his career, man.
But I'm saying, like, for example, we know now that Kyrie didn't want to be on that team in Cleveland, right?
Whose TV is that? We're about to get flagged with whatever in the background. Somebody got Madden or something?
No.
Oh.
What you got going on?
Put that on mute for me.
Is that somebody's phone?
Hold on.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was it's friction there. It was friction in Cleveland because Kyrie didn't want to be there anymore. He wanted to have his own team. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he
was tired of being blamed.
I don't think it. I'm glad y'all brought that up. I'm glad y'all
being
brought that
blamed.
Up.
Kyrie was a lot of the team was being blamed for basically.
Man, listen. If the Cavs lose, who's the first? When LeBron was there, when the Cavs lose, who was getting blamed more than LeBron? LeBron got most of the blame. Like there was never
Kevin
a
Love
game.
Going down with injury.
Huh?
Kevin Love got a lot of blame going down with injury.
I mean,
Kyrie got a lot of blame going down with injury.
That criticism is going to come no matter
all the
where
coaches
you go,
that he's ever had in Cleveland.
But I'm saying that criticism that everybody gets criticized when you're in the public eye. So they weren't getting blamed necessarily because they were with LeBron or they.
Dang, lost her mid.
What happened?
Well then, midpoint.
Damn, Joe.
Oh.
But while she, I hope she notices. She probably still talking. She probably still going hard.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought that up, though, is because my whole thing is this. And I don't think it was so much wanting his own team so much as I think that Kyrie was in a similar situation with this whole Dennis Schroeder thing. Where it's like, now I'm speaking for Schroeder, to include Schroeder, I'll say, I'm a top 10 point guard in the league. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Kyrie was top 3, I'd say around that time. Maybe 5 if you want to be hard. But to include Schroeder, I'll say I'm a top 10 point guard, right? I deserve a contract since I've been with Atlanta, right? Since I went to OKC, right? Then I came to LA, where everybody knows you got to take a pay cut to play with LeBron. I get that, right? I understand that. But I still haven't made the money I'm worth yet.
Not only that, but you look at what Schroeder had to go through from where it's another ball dominant guard situation. We're not talking about a Mo Williams. We're not talking about a Delonte West and Eric Snow.
Right.
You know, these are ball dominant guards.
Right.
He doesn't play well with ball dominant guards.
Right.
And then typically on the teams, you get, of course, LeBron gets criticized by the media, but then by the social media and all of these other guys and all the people that really don't matter. It's the team that gets criticized. It's not LeBron. It's the team let LeBron down, because all of these LeBron fans usually point the finger everywhere else except for at that centerpiece.
I see where you're going. But I think, to Brittany's point, I think it's more the media attacks LeBron when it comes to that. But
do they though?
A lot of times, definitely.
I don't see Uncle Shay out here pointing fingers at LeBron. Nick Wright.
Uncle Shay's LeBron fan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of the media is pretty split on LeBron fans.
You see Uncle Charles out here throwing shade at LeBron all the time.
I mean, that's Uncle Charles. Sir Charles gonna do what Sir Charles do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with that.
When I heard the whole situation, and I remember Mock, you gave him hit the showers last Wednesday for turning down the 84 and accepting the what's the name. And then I thought about it. And I said, that may not have been a bad move, though.
Terrible move.
That may not have been a bad move, though, especially if you're wanting what you're wanting. And what he's wanting is to be paid, clearly.
You want money or a championship?
Exactly. And he said it. He said it right then and there. He said, I'm not worried about the championship. I want to be paid. That's what he said. And I understand that. If you don't want me, that's fine, right? But I would much rather have the opportunity to get paid what I am worth than to be locked into 4 years getting paid under than with a ring that I can't really do.
We saw a guy do that. What was it, 12 years ago? Left the Nuggets. What was his name? Melo?
Right.
Went to New York knowing it was a shit situation. Like, some guys just rather take the money. And I get it.
And clearly 29 other teams didn't think he should be paid the money either, because that's a slap in the face.
That's not at all the case.
If I said I turned down the Lakers and they offered me fairly decent money, but then you turn right back around and I tell you what I want, and you say, well, we'll give you 1 year, $5 million, whatever it is, and some change.
But that's not at all the case, though. I mean, I could definitely understand why you would think that, but let's be honest, it's almost a bad timing situation, because you made that move after the draft had taken place, like what, a week and a half after the draft? It was a little bit after the draft that Schroeder trade went through. But my point is that there was a lot of guards that came out in this draft. Right? This was a very guard heavy draft. And people filled their slots on, because a lot of guards that came out of the draft are already NBA ready. So people filled their slots on certain guards. The rest of them have their eyes on the ones the teams are going to be letting go that they don't plan on keeping. It's a lot of guards in this draft, I'm telling you. So when you look at a Schroeder, it's like, well, fuck, this was the worst time not to take the deal because nobody else really needs me at the moment.
Right.
But everybody's going to at least a veteran, though.
Right. That's why I say.
Not leadership.
Big but, though. That's why I say this may be a better deal for him, because you may be sacrificing. You're going to lose $13 million on a season because you could have signed something for at least 20, like the Lakers was trying to give you. but that's not what he's worth, right? He's worth more than that. So I can take this. I can take this 5.9 or whatever it is for 1 year on a team where they just got rid of their Kemba Walker. And now you got a chance to be Schroeder again on a team that's a potential championship team that can come out the East. I guarantee you his stock rises after this year and he gets that contract he's been looking for next year.
I raised you on that, actually.
You said what?
So I said I want to raise you on that. So you say that he wants to get his value, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if his value mentally is more than just the contract? It's the role itself.
Ooh.
So he didn't feel like he was getting his value. It wasn't the money with the Lakers.
So
because let's be honest, now he's going to Boston, where they go and they feed through the point guard.
Exactly. This may be right.
Yeah.
So you're saying he may have wanted to sacrifice the money to be in a more comfortable position, and you never know if he shows out this year. Who you think's going to be offering an extension first?
Right.
Boston's going to be the first one on the list. Like, we'll give you this.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. It may be a better position for him, even though it looks like on the back end you're losing all that money. But you think about it. If you didn't want the contract to begin with, all he's really losing out on is a year's worth of pay. And what was that year going to be in LA? 21. What's he getting here? 6. So he's only losing out on 15 on 1 year to be locked down into a 1-year contract. This is almost like a tryout. And we all know Schroeder's better than a tryout player. So this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity to get your contract this year. And I think it's possible he does it. I'm not saying he may not have deserved the hit the showers for that, because when you think about legacy and they're not paying you awful, you know what I mean? Considering the fact they just picked up Russell Westbrook and they're still going to give you a 4-year $84. That's still a pretty good deal, knowing that I'm going to be on a potential championship team.
But
I'm saying,
did they pick up Westbrook before
Yeah.
they let go of Schroeder?
Uh-huh.
So that might be another factor that nobody's thinking about.
That Schroeder doesn't want to be behind Westbrook either.
Again.
Right.
There's been a lot of, like, everybody seems to forget Melo and Westbrook didn't play great together.
Uh-huh.
Like, people be like, oh, like they teaming back up.
What you said, Melo and Westbrook?
Yeah, in OKC.
He did come. Yeah, he did. Melo did come there for a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, like a year.
He did.
And they didn't play that well together. You know, Paul George had his 2 years and then he bounced. You know, there's certain players, just like players don't like to play with Bron. A lot of players don't seem to like to play with Russ either.
So why do you think Melo would have accepted?
Melo accepted before Russ came along.
I thought that was after.
I could have swore he was before, or they was in talks before.
Because they're all friends of LeBron. It's like it's no different than we've all been here. Where you have a couple friends.
You got a grass skirt on under that desk?
Maybe you're a couple. A what? A grass skirt on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about that background.
Right. Somebody about to put a lay around his neck. Alexis, her arms about to come in like this and drop a lay on his.
I'll just say I'm supposed to be in the Maldives. I'm not in Las Vegas with the Raiders.
Oh, okay.
But
Whoa.
anyways,
like my backdrop.
It's no different than I feel like when we've all got a couple friends. Maybe your friends don't always see eye to eye, but you're kind of the median, and maybe they just come to an agreement for you. You know what I mean? That's what's going on to me, because they're all friends with LeBron. LeBron has his friendships individually with these people. So he's trying to mesh that.
Yeah, he put together the Mind Stars.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
He did.
Right.
You don't think?
No.
They may be.
You saw my meme. You saw the meme I sent
The
you.
Expendables.
Jay, who you rock with? Who you rock
basketball?
with in the NBA?
Cleveland.
Yeah, is it player or team or how do you?
Chris Paul. If I go player, it's Chris Paul.
My squad.
If I go team, it's Cleveland.
My squad.
Only because Cincinnati don't have a squad.
Yeah, no. Even if Cincinnati had a squad, I think I still have to rock with Cleveland.
If Cincinnati had a squad, I'll let the whole city of Cleveland burn.
Oh shit!
Brittany missing all the hot takes, huh?
Man.
Yeah, I seen you text her this shit.
Hey,
she must got something she got to do.
What you want?
I'm gonna get up off here. I gotta go.
Well, handle your business. You gotta hit the showers before you go.
I don't have to hit the showers today. When we switch over to Tuesdays, I'll be ready to hit the shower. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have something to hit the showers for.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Handle your business, man. Be safe.
All right. Have a good night. All right. See you.
We ain't gonna be on here too much longer anyway. But what was you saying? That bright ass screen popped up all in my face.
We're talking about man.
We were talking about Schroeder.
Oh yeah.
Team chemistry.
I was just getting at the fact that I don't think that the situation is as bad for Schroeder as it looks.
I definitely don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, after I sat and I thought about it, like, yeah, when you look at somebody turning down $84 million, that looks to get 5.9, that looks bad. But when you think about how much he's worth, because I feel like Schroeder's worth at least actual value 4-year 120, 5-year 120.
5-year 120, not the 4.
I could see him getting a 4-year 120.
After bonuses, hopefully.
Yeah, I could see. I don't know if it's written out like that, but I could see him getting 120, definitely for 5. But I could see him getting it for 4, depending on where he goes. And it's clear, like you said, you don't care about the ring. Only issue is when you think about the teams that need it the most, they just got it filled. Orlando, Jalen Suggs, huh?
I was just going to ask, how old is Schroeder?
I think he's 28, 29.
So the other thing that might be on his mind, why stay on this sinking ship? All these dudes going to be gone in a few years, then it's going to be me by myself.
Right. On a 4-year.
So, yeah. So there may not be any interest from him in that regard as well. Because LeBron got 4 at best years left.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
AD can't stay healthy long enough to actually give us a real estimate. And then Melo on his way out, just like Bron.
Yeah, Melo only got 1, 2, maybe. If they come close this year, I could see Melo coming back.
Maybe.
Right, maybe.
And that's just where I'm looking at them right now. Like, why, if I'm Schroeder, why would I lock in the 4 if I've only got 2 real years and then I'm left in a trail of dust like Cleveland just was after Bron left them again?
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's another good point, man. That's another good point. I just think Schroeder's in a better position than people make him out to be.
For sure.
I saw him on all those memes and I started to think about it. Like, maybe he's not no fool. But what was you about to say, Mount?
I was just gonna say once again. I mean, recently the point guards in Boston haven't panned out too well. Kyrie had his moment there. See how it panned out for him. Kemba didn't last nothing but a hot second.
I feel like both of those are different, right? Because Kyrie came over to lead, and he picked the wrong team to do so, right? Because you got some good young players, but these players don't need that leader.
Right.
You know what I would look at
and that squad needed more of a facilitator rather than a scorer. If you want to be honest.
Right. I would look at a Jaylen Brown as more of a leader in himself. He's going to lead himself type shit. He don't need nobody like Kyrie leading him. Now, when you look at a Schroeder, even before we get there, then look at when they got that Kemba acquisition. Kemba came from a team where he had to be the leader and got put into that team where it's like, we don't need a leader, we just need you to play your role. And he had a hard time feeling it.
Right.
Because sometimes he did too much, let's be honest.
I agree.
Yeah. Now, you look at a Schroeder.
He's just doing what he was used to.
Right, exactly. And that's you made my point exactly. Because this is a new team. We don't need you to do that. The same with Kyrie. We don't need you to do that. You're fucking up our flow. We had a flow before you got here, and you're fucking it up. Now you look at a Schroeder. That's a guy who, as good as he is, always comes in and fits the role.
Because he's not a scorer. Like, he's not going to be your primary guy. He's probably one of the most selfless point guards in the league right now.
I would say I agree.
Like, nobody looks to pass like him.
He's almost like
as far as the younger guys.
He's almost like a baby Rondo with a lot better shot.
Yeah.
He may not have as good defense, but he's still pretty good on defense.
Yeah, he's definitely not got the lockdown defense, but what he lacks in defense, he makes up for in a shot that Rondo didn't have.
Exactly. I'll take that, man. I'll take that.
And didn't they just get IT back too?
Yeah, I heard that they were thinking about signing him.
So
I didn't know if that was like for sure thing yet.
I don't think they put it through.
So I think he's still in that Drew League. I thought he was still doing that.
No, he is still in the Drew League until they call him up. But I did hear that they were in conversations with bringing him back. And listen, have you seen what he's been doing in that Drew League?
Everybody does work in the Drew League. I don't pay attention to that shit.
Not always, though. Not always.
Who don't?
And listen, Isaiah Thomas been going nutty in that Drew. That motherfucker been putting up 50 and shit.
Now look, I love him to death. Jamal Crawford always looked really good in the Drew League.
Yeah,
like he was gonna be the next star. Only to be the best six man we've ever seen.
Right.
But I think that his style of play fit the Drew League a little more than the NBA.
Who, Jamal?
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Jamal had to touch the ball a bit, dribble a little bit, get a little flashy on you before and that's not the NBA moves.
That's a fact. They call that traveling and shit.
Right. He a lot of the shit. He was good at a lot of shit that he couldn't get off in the NBA. It was good.
That's true.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome back.
Did you know you got kicked?
Yeah, my phone died.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, she probably still yelling in that phone about
No, I was trying to get my point. I see it die, and I'm trying to get my point off before it dies, but I'm just like, they probably can't hear me anymore.
What was it you was talking about?
I have no idea. We won't even worry about it.
Russ and Bron.
We just keep rolling with the flow.
Yeah, we moving on. We just gonna touch on these one game. This one game that what game was it? The Cardinals Cowboys.
Okay, I didn't see it, but what happened?
You didn't see it? I saw pieces and then I just watched the highlights for what I didn't see. But what I will say is Colt McCoy was out there. And that motherfucker was looking good.
Here's the thing.
Really?
I'm really confused. Y'all putting a lot of stock in the preseason.
I get it.
Guys who are playing against third string and people who won't even make the team, and we putting stock into this?
I get it. I get what you're saying. I get it. But my whole thing is this. Granted, the situation, right? There's still motherfuckers closing that pocket. If you can stand in it and put that shot where it needs to be, I understand when them starters get in, it's gonna close a lot quicker. But if you can stand strong in right, but if you can stand strong in it right now and deliver that pass, that gives me confidence that
here's the thing.
Like, hey, we know he's not gonna start. Colt McCoy's not gonna start, but
no, that was never the question.
He looks good.
But like if I go in and I go play against the third stringers for the Browns, not taking a shot, I'm doing this for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we use the Bengals in. Shit, use the Bengals.
No, we don't have a Myles Garrett.
Okay.
If I'm going in and I don't have to worry about that motherfucker Myles Garrett,
right?
Because the third string dude's not even close to half the talent he is. Right. I might look good too. Me at 32 years old, ain't never played a lick of NFL in my life. Except
and that's funny you say that, Jay, because when Cliff was making his point in my head, I was thinking about that. Like, shoot, it's different when a Myles Garrett coming at you for sure.
That just means that the pocket closed quicker. But you got to understand that it's the same on both sides of the field.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is. That means those guards and those tackles that are covering your motherfucking ass, those also ain't the first stringers.
Yeah, but how many keep those in stock? Even in preseason, they're usually looking for them skill guys.
No, you're right. No, I definitely understand what you're saying, but you're not about to risk your star offensive lineman in a preseason game.
No doubt.
So you got to understand that once Myles Garrett comes in, so does that offensive tackle one, and he like, I still got a couple seconds for you, bro. Don't worry about it. He gonna get around me, but I got more time than the dude that you had in there.
I get what you're saying, Cliff. You're saying like the timing is pretty much gonna be the same based off of the talent level.
It's not gonna be the same because you got to understand. I'd still give Myles Garrett a few seconds over that starting tackle, but you're still going to get a little bit more time than you're expecting because he's not coming in on that third string tackle that's lined up
right
now.
Right.
So the fact that you can stand in there and still deliver those shots, and those shots were accurate. That's what I'm saying. Those shots were accurate.
My thing is, because you remember, you're talking to a Bengals fan.
Right.
So we have completely neglected offensive line for years. So when we got a guy named
it's frustrating.
Kevin Zeitler, who was our backup, we sent him to the Browns. He became a starter. Then he goes over to the Giants in a trade where they got some linebacker they ain't even got no more in Cleveland. Now he's starting over there too. That dude was our second stringer. We started Clint Bowling. Clint Bowling was a solid starter for about 3 years. Madden rating of like a 76.
Right.
So these are the guys that we're used to having. My depth in Cincinnati, they don't give a damn. They got skill guys.
Right.
Their 70-man roster is skill guys. Why? Because we want Joe Burrow to get rid of that ball quick because God knows he holds on to it way too damn long.
Well, that you got to understand it in LSU, that was a style. It was speed. My wide receivers is going to burn you. And my line's going to hold up this pocket long enough for me to get that pass when they burn you. That's clearly not the case in Cincinnati, so it's going to take him a couple years to learn to get it out quicker.
And I get
double time.
Because for me, we don't even have the speed there yet.
No, you don't.
Like we got T. Higgins, quite. Now we got Jamar Chase. We'll see how that goes.
I think you're not confident in that?
No.
Why
I'm
not?
not confident in anybody that took a year off. Nobody.
I'm with him on that. Football, I feel like you can in the NFL, for real.
Look, I coach Little League, and I got kids that took a year off last year that decided to come back now, and they don't look the same as they did the year before.
That's because they ain't hungry.
But it's not just about being hungry. It's football is an unforgiving sport. When you take a year off and everybody else had that chance, we just saw a fucking wide receiver win the Heisman. His name wasn't Jamar Chase.
What was his name again?
Injured, reserved. His name.
He didn't play this past.
Smith.
He didn't play the other day, did he?
He didn't.
Who? Chase or
Devontae Smith? Heisman winner.
This is Malcolm's way of bringing it back to the Eagles. If you didn't notice, Jay, this is Malcolm's way of bringing it back to the Eagles.
And I apologize. I would have been fine if he would have said something like the only receiver since, Desmond Howard. But, whatever. He's got his own prerogatives.
You know what? And I'm sorry to bring it back, but it's interesting that you say that now that Burrows is playing with Cincy, got to get the ball out faster. That makes me wonder what kind of routes they going to have Jamar running.
The same ones he ran at LSU. Fucking slants.
I mean, he ran more than slants.
No, where?
He ran
You look
more
at
than
most of his highlights look like Paris Campbell. It was quick dinks and dunks.
He ran more
and
than
the crazy
slants.
part, no, because the dude who was the deep ball threat was Jefferson. People forgot they had Justin Jefferson, that big ass body he had. Jamar Chase was a short route man.
I may be getting them confused.
Jamar Chase was a dog, don't get me wrong, but Paris Campbell looked like a dog too in college.
I think I'm getting them confused. I think I'm thinking of Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson had that massive body, bro. That whole offense was one of the most historically profound offenses we've ever seen in the NCAA. And people riding the shit out of that Burrow train, and that's cute. But
you saying he and Mac Jones, how my pops is saying Mac Jones had all that talent. We gonna see what you do in the league. But Burrows came out the gate doing all right.
When?
He wasn't doing bad his first season.
Jay, are you saying you don't
before he got
care
hurt?
For Burrow?
It's not that I don't care for Burrow. I think my man's is overhyped.
Not right for the.
I think he's not. No. I think he could have been really good for. This is a dude who thrived behind one of the best offensive lines in the NCAA with some of the best weapons in the NCAA.
Right.
You throwing him with the Wolves, and the dude holds the ball as long as fucking Tony Romo does, and has the IQ of a freshman quarterback.
Man, I don't know if you can say that though.
I just did.
I think you're being
Burrow.
But I think you're being harsh on him. I do think you're being harsh on him a bit.
But here's the thing. Look at the last two quarterbacks that I've had. And since I have a reason and a right to be harsh. I came off of Carson Palmer. And then I got right after him, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was one of the best regular season quarterbacks when he played the game in Cincy, year in and year out. And the reason why is because when we neglected that offensive line, he gets the ball out quick. He had one of the quickest releases in the NFL. This is a fact, not a joke. They did a sports science on it. It's a real thing.
I like Burrow though. I do. I actually wish we had Burrow at one point instead of Baker.
We'll trade you for Carr.
I like Burrow.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
Carr either. The hell?
We'll trade you for Carr.
I keep Finley for that.
Carr. Straight up trade.
That would
Finley.
be.
He beat the Steelers last year.
Who did?
Finley, Ryan Finley.
Oh. Nah.
And the Browns.
Nah, Burrows for Carr, straight up.
A straight up trade.
Straight up trade.
A straight up. Nah, you got to get me for the potential. I know where your man's was at.
What you mean? We the ones that would want the extra pick.
For what?
For Carr.
What?
Maybe like Burrows in the second round.
Burrow in the second round?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you must be coming up off of a first. Shit.
Burrows
coming off
the
Carr
round.
and the first.
Because like you said, they gonna say Carr, listen, you know what he can do. We don't know this young boy yet.
But that's the point. Carr's at his ceiling.
That's what I think too.
Agreed.
I think so too.
Agreed.
Like where Burrow's at. That's why. To answer your question a little bit differently, I was not a fan of getting rid of Dalton so quick.
Okay.
I think it would have been good.
I felt something between you and him when you were saying his name. I thought about
the shit out of the red rifle. Listen to me. Look, so
Mark looked like he needed Corona.
Dalton, hey, he really does, though.
I'm just laughing because I mean, Bengals. It's always interesting to talk to a Bengals fan. They just have
the only reason it wasn't never that we shouldn't have picked up Burrow, right? In the COVID year where we had no offseason, nobody working with anybody. Why the fuck would you let your veteran guy go when he's got 1 year left on the deal any damn way? Let him go, and then the Cowboys pick him up for free. He actually does solid over there. Meanwhile, Burrow gets hurt in Cincy.
But he didn't do awful.
That's why I say solid. But meanwhile, Burrow gets hurt out here, which is what happens to who every year? Oh, yeah, Dalton. Why? Because our offensive line is dog shit and a half.
Right. And that's all that, you know what, they actually setting Burrows up because it's like, of course, he has to adapt to the speed of the league, and then you're going to put him behind that line to where it's like, God damn, like what do you expect me to do here?
That's why I was not a fan of.
I can't even.
That's why I was not a fan of letting Dalton go so fast.
But you know what though, Jay? I was just thinking, in this day and age, in all honesty, let's be honest, can you draft a QB number 1 in the draft and not start him the next year? Like, can a team get away with that?
How far back do we need to go? Like, can I go back to the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield?
You say what?
Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield?
He tried to be stupid.
I mean, but I'm just saying, like,
I know, did they not start Tyrod Taylor?
They're going to wiggle. They're going to get them in there. So who's to say that Dalton wasn't like, you know what? I know that y'all going to swap me out for him. Just go ahead and get rid of me now.
No, he wanted to teach. He wanted to teach Burrow. He already said that he was open to teaching Burrow, especially for a dude who wasn't going to have OTAs or any preseason work with the receivers. I mean, Burrow literally would throw a ball to AJ Green, and if it was more than 10 yards, he couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn. Like him, there was nothing there except for him and T. Higgins. Burrow's
I like Higgins.
10 yards. I like Higgins too. I really like Higgins. But Burrow throwing more than 10 yards is suspect.
I'm not going to argue.
I'm sorry.
You're a fan. You know what I mean? You seen more than I did.
I
disagree.
Not just seeing. I'm going to disagree because I like Burrows and I think that the potential is there, but it's just like people don't give people time to develop. Like, you got to come out and be a great QB your first year, like in the NFL. Like, nah, let him adjust. I'm sure that he'll live up to his potential. I mean, I feel like he will.
I was cool with if we would have, when we drafted him, Andy Dalton was going to end up going out with injury anyway, right? So why not keep Dalton? Burrow's going to end up starting regardless.
That's a probably.
No, that's a like 98.25% probability that Dalton was going to get hurt.
You know what?
Just like Burrow got hurt.
We don't know. Like, I like to know the whys of things. So that would be a question. Like, I would really want to know why the Bengals made that decision. Like, I would want to talk to somebody that was a part of making that decision. Like, what was you guys' reasoning? How are you guys making these type of decisions? Because they're not the only ones to do it. Questionable things with players. So stuff like that, I want to know what goes on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are there things that we don't know? Like, there has to be.
We all know. Anybody who pays attention to football knows that the Bengals organization is remedial at best. So these guys, instead of getting rid of a Carlos Dunlap, right, one of the best defensive end pass rushers in the league, instead of getting rid of him and getting, I don't know what he was worth, a second round pick, they let this man post his house on fucking Twitter when he put it up for sale. And now he's worth what, a seventh? And then he goes to Seattle and starts balling out there. Like, these are the things that the Bengals have never been accused of being a smart, run organization.
Right.
Like, this is the same group of guys who was like, hey, Reggie Nelson just had a fucking Pro Bowl year and we're gonna cut him. What? Like, this is the shit that I'm like, we held on to Vontaze Burfict for as long as we did, knowing all of the issues.
Well, listen,
and don't get me wrong, I love Burfict. I love the style of player he is.
Crazy.
But at the end of the day,
I got faith in you because you also a Michigan fan, so I'm sure you can hang in there for the Bengals.
Look, I don't know. Unlike Michigan, I've been spoiled with, playoffs and shit with the Bengals. So, like, we've been, in my lifetime, 32 years, we've been to more playoffs than the Browns have, than the fucking Ravens have.
In recent
they've
years,
been around for some of that. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I've become accustomed to in my adult life. You know what I mean? Like, the Bengals spoiled me a little.
Drink about it.
Real quick, before you change subjects, Cliff, I do want to say that it is this in the past 3 years. This is the first time that the Bengals haven't been been able to really put up a fight. We are used to them being competitive, so this is probably the first time in a while that they haven't been able to do that. But what were you saying, Cliff?
Oh,
you were getting ready to.
Yeah, no,
something I was about taking a drink.
Yeah, drink about it. You. About both of them.
He gonna be drinking all season because they ain't winning no games either. You and Malcolm gonna have to share a drink.
I'm just stay drunk.
He said I'm gonna just stay drunk. Listen, I'm sure I'm gonna be drunk with you. I think the Raiders gonna have a decent season, but they always drive me to drink.
I give y'all 50. I give y'all 500.
So what? 7 and
damn, she giving you better than I gave.
8 and 17.
Wait, 8 and 17.
Yeah.
Like 8 and 8, or how many is 17 games? So y'all really can't do 500, but somewhere around there.
They'll be just under.
Somewhere around there.
I think we'll go at least 11 and 17.
Absolutely not. What were you getting ready to say? We were getting ready to go to something else.
You ain't getting ready to say 11 and 17.
What you think? Yeah, 11 and 17.
There's only 17 games.
17, my God.
You got to subtract that 11.
17. You know what I mean?
I thought you was going.
Right.
You might have to put down whatever you've been puffing on over there.
I know the boss, Ricky Ross Jr. knew what I was saying. But
he in Copacabana right now chilling.
Oh, snap.
But before we wrap it up, the Errol Spence Jr. Manny Pacquiao fight was supposed to be next week. It is now off.
Canceled. Canceled or postponed?
I thought you said he had the clause where he had to take some fight, or that was a different fight.
Canelo. That was Canelo.
That was Canelo
wanted with Caleb Plant, and that's in renegotiation actually now. So we may still get that Canelo Caleb Plant fight, but Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao was different. Errol Spence suffered a retinal tear and had to get surgery on his eye. So Manny Pacquiao still fighting on the same date, but he's fighting Yordenis Ugas, who is another champion. He's a Cuban champion. He's undefeated. He's not a joke. He actually got Manny Pacquiao's belt because Manny Pacquiao was inactive for 2 years, and the WBO stripped him and gave it to Ugas. He was the next one in line, but Ugas hasn't fought since they gave it to him, so now they're both fighting for the same belt, basically. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's definitely not the same fight. I think that this still may be a good one. I'm probably not going to buy it. I might go somewhere and watch it, but I'm probably not going to buy that.
What weekend is it? The 28th?
It's this next weekend coming up.
21st?
21st.
Yeah.
Okay. We might get it. We usually get the fights, so we'll see.
It's either the 21st or the 28th. That's my birthday, so that weekend, I think that's the Jake Paul Tyron Woodley fight.
Yeah.
So I think Manny Pacquiao.
We probably get both of them,
if I'm remembering correctly. But other than that, the same fights, we announce them all every week. I ain't gonna go back through them, but that Sean Porter is coming up. The Sean Porter Terrence Crawford, that's in September. That's the next one I'm really excited for. And other than that, I have nothing else. Does anybody have anything that they would like to bring up before we wrap it up?
Zach Wilson off to a hot start. Don't keep your eye on him tonight.
Oh, did that game start already?
Yeah, Zach Wilson just threw a nice pass just a second ago.
I told you, man. I think he's gonna be a shocker too. I think my dad was right about him. I think he's gonna be a shocker in New York. But yeah, that's all we got this time. Britt, I don't know if you're aware, but I guess now would be a good time to let everybody know, especially the audience that may be out there listening. There is no more Wednesday show for basketball. That is now being moved to Tuesdays for football. So we'll be coming on this Tuesday. Any of y'all that are interested, hit me up. But this Tuesday will be our first show. We'll cover, of course, the weekend's preseason and get the other hosts' opinions on the games that we already covered. And then on the weekends, of course, we'll still talk some football, but it'll be more geared towards all around sports, like we say, than just football on the weekends. So anybody still out there, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that jazz. It don't cost you nothing, just click it. And the question to wrap us up, you know what is that? Fuck it, we gonna pick on Jay.
Uh-oh.
We picking on Jay this evening. You know what you did.
No, I don't.
What'd he do?
You like Cincinnati. That's what you did. So I want to know what Cincinnati does on the record this year, and then hit the showers.
That's out of 17 games. You want to know what their record is going to be?
Yeah.
You want my projection
of your team
this year?
And then you hit the showers. Yeah, we need all that. We picking on you.
5-12.
5-12.
Okay, I project them to go 6 because I actually like the Bengals. I'm gonna give them 6-11.
That's where I was leaning towards too.
One more than the Eagles.
Oh, damn.
What you got, Ricky?
That's what I was saying too. 6-11 was definitely on my mind.
Yeah, I think 6-11 is out. The 5-12. I mean, you may be right, but that's it ain't. You got to be harsh on your own team.
You gotta start somewhere.
I gotta be. I'm just a real.
No, you don't have to be, but yeah, let's be logical about it. If you weren't logical, I'd be like, get this crazy motherfucker up off here.
Hey, we didn't touch on something that I low-key forgot about until just now. No, not that.
Okay.
I mean, rest in peace to Bobby Bowden, but
right.
Something to possibly talk about next time. The Pac-12, ACC, and the Big Ten conferences are talking about an alliance in the season where they would only play each other. So basically leaving the SEC shit out of luck for games outside of the conference. They'd have to go to the Big 12.
Now, what would be the purpose of that, though? Like, what would be
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I would want.
I'm not sure what the goal of the end game is. What I'm thinking it is, since SEC did their whole thing where they tried to poach a bunch of teams from a bunch of conferences, with the Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, right, Oklahoma, all that shit. Clemson, Florida State, I believe, was also in there. By making their mega conference, and we all know that Oklahoma and Texas both want to go already. So if they make this mega conference, there's no point in even playing games outside of the conference itself. At that point, you're just doing the SEC invitation, right? So I think what their end game is, I don't know. I'm not in those rooms, but it sounded to me like what the end game was going to be was they were going to make an alliance where the Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big Ten would only play against each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and obviously until bowl season comes, and then they don't have a choice. But they would basically restrict it to the point where they say, "Hey, we're not scheduling shit with the SEC."
You know what that says to me? And this is just me. This is just my mind connecting dots, and I'm not saying that I'm right, but it sounds to me like now, because of course the players can make money off of their own likeness, right? And everybody are committing to SEC schools. If the SEC isn't paying the ACC teams and all them enough on the back end, then they like, well, wait a minute. Just because you're now paying those players don't mean you can take money out of our pocket. So they're unionizing between all of the teams that are getting underpaid by those big name colleges to be like, nah, y'all got to pay us this or we don't play y'all at all.
Right. Or I wouldn't be surprised if it was in a union type thing, you know, it was kind of being done to block the SEC. So, like, yeah, y'all could do
it's been a lot of commits
over there.
It's been a lot of commits that have come through there or that have committed to there since the likeness thing has come out. That if this does go through, they're kind of screwed now.
What do you mean?
Like that screws them to have to pay those players that committed that amount of money to not be able to make it back in your college schedule because they're now refusing to play you. And you knew a lot of those teams you didn't have to pay as much.
Right.
Because they weren't on your level, which is why you're getting all the commits. But now that you got the commits and you got to pay the money, you got to start paying them as well, or they like, we're not going to play you.
I see what you're saying. So you're talking about like this. This is going to be a big thing for like the Citadels and those smaller schools.
All of them are going to have to. You're going to have to raise the cap if you want to break even. Because I know how much y'all are paying that quarterback and that running back and those offensive linemen. So you're not going to make it back on us. If you want to play us, pay us. And you know that that's always been an issue in college sports. That's why Ohio State will pick a team like Wright State and play them. Yeah, we'll pay y'all a couple of dollars to come up and get y'all's ass beat, but they know they're not making what they should be making playing a team like Ohio State, and this is a good way to guarantee you make it.
Well, in Ohio State like to hide behind that whole, you know, we don't want a little brother mentality too. So,
don't point to your hat for the audio listeners out there.
I'm just saying.
He got an ugly ass Cincinnati hat on.
They was scared.
He got an ugly ass Cincinnati
to make a little brother because they saw what happened to Bama, Michigan, all of them schools, Florida State, whichever one you want.
Listen, I fuck with the Bearcats.
Everyone does. You can't not help but like
I fuck with the Bearcats. I ain't gonna lie. But we gonna hit the hit the showers and we rocking out. We coming right up on that 2-hour mark. We at 150.
Well,
you want to start it out? I'm sorry, I just gotta.
I'll start it out because here's my thing. I know that I feel like everybody, and you guys may have touched. I don't know if you guys did the Wednesday show or not. I feel like everybody's hit the shower should be the same this week. Everybody knows Dennis Schroeder is the ultimate hit the shower.
I don't know if I can agree.
Are you serious?
We had that whole.
She wasn't here for that part of the combo.
Okay,
we had that.
My bad.
To that conversation. No, I ain't no bad because I mean I think that a lot of people feel that way. But I think for him specifically, I think that's a pretty decent move. Like, and to run it back real quick, we were basically saying, okay, that $4 million over 4 years, you were locked into LA. So when you said you didn't want that, basically you were saying, I don't want the ring. I want to be paid what I'm worth. So you took an L on the year, but when you think about it, you didn't take a $76 million L. You only took a $15 million L because you only signed a 1-year deal with the Celtics. Now, the Celtics got rid of Kemba Walker, which means you're now the go-to point guard in Boston. And as we all know, Boston runs their game through their point guard. If you can boost your stats or abilities up this year, you're going to get that $125 million contract you were waiting on. You wouldn't have been able to get it committing to 4 years with LA.
But here's the thing. You know, I feel like he took an L for the simple fact, like, that's something, you know, he basically, he's taking a chance. He's gambling. We don't know what's going to happen with him this season. You know what I'm saying? If he gets injured, he's really going to look like the ultimate hit the showers.
But he's never been injury prone when you think about it.
I mean, which is cool. Hopefully nothing happens, but I'm just saying, he's taking it.
He's Black German. They got to be strong.
Well, listen, I don't know what, I don't know who's. I thought he was from.
Yeah, he's from Germany.
No, I'm saying it's like
I don't know. It's Black Germans. Black Germans got to be. Well, I don't know. I didn't. I won't say that on.
It don't matter where he's from, in my opinion. My thing is this: you're taking a chance, and I could agree with you if he would have gotten, because he gave up $84 million for 4 years. If he would have got something close to what he would have made in a year, then I would agree with you.
So you said if he got like 12, that would have been better than the 5.
Yeah, like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. You're still getting what you think you're worth, or somewhat around what you think you're worth. And you're going to another team where maybe you have more opportunities to, you know, take over whatever it may be.
Point guards that came out. That's why I said that's another reason why he got so low. It's not that I don't think they were trying to play him. They were just thinking like, look at all the point guards that came out. We already got Peyton Pritchard and you're not a necessity. We just would like to add you to the squad. It's almost like a tryout year. And once again, I repeat myself, Schroeder's not a tryout player.
Well, he should be past that point in his
star.
He should be past that point in his career, and that's why I say it was not a good move for him. Because he really should be past that point in his career. He made a move as if he were past that point in his career where he has to try out, and
I can agree.
He kind of fell flat on his face, and now he's kind of having to try out again to get his money. Like I said, I feel like
that's a good way to put it.
He made a mistake, and hopefully he bounces back. You know, I want to see people bounce back, but it's just like, man, he's really, you know, this is going to be a rough year mentally. You know what I'm saying? Knowing like, damn, I could have been on the Lakers.
I think if he's in his right mind, he's thinking I'm good. I just got to show out like I know I can. If he does what he did with the Lakers, he's going to get paid next year.
Not only that, I mean,
you can't say that because he didn't get paid this year.
If you can find it through the
so clearly they're not seeing the value.
The fact that they will offer him a $484 after they got Russell lets you know that he's worth keeping.
Fact.
For them, but apparently the rest of the world didn't see it that way.
That's what I said too earlier.
Right, but that's only because of you chose to say you wanted to leave after the draft. If he said he would have wanted to leave before the draft, he would have got a comparable contract. But the fact that the draft came out and all those guards came out, it's almost like, I'm not going to say that either, but it's almost like a whole bunch of people rushing through the finish line. Only one makes it through, right? But
first,
and you think about all the teams that are low level that got good point guards this year. Orlando with Jalen Suggs, and you can name any low-level team, they got a good point guard this year, whether rookie or picked one up. So,
man, listen,
Schroeder's not going to get no $15 million for 1 year.
But that's what he's aiming for.
I would have shot for the 8, the 9. Give me 9 one year. I'm good with that, and I'll show out and be good next year.
again, I still feel like, he definitely this is donkey.
In some
he definitely
he dropped the ball.
Yeah, he definitely dropped the ball because my thing is if the outside world or the outside NBA does not see the value in you, and you're talking about draft picks, this is a draft every year, that's not going to change. And the only way you get valued is within the team you're in. You got to actually play for the team for them to value you. I mean, I feel like the Lakers valued him. That's why they offered him the contract that they did. But if that's the only way people can see your value, then that's not a good look, man. It's going to be hard for him to reach his goal of however much money that he wants. And you know what it could have been? I don't know. All these crazy contracts been dropping and stuff like that. People be feeling some type of way. Egos start talking to you, and you feel like you should be in those talks. Because what's the name just got a couple people just got some crazy contracts. Didn't they?
Who's you about to say? Yeah, it's been. Been a few that I heard. Listen, I was surprised that. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that one. But I'm gonna say that I was surprised that the Lakers brought Kendrick Nunn in on that contract. Like, I'm not saying that Kendrick Nunn isn't a good point guard, but to bring him in like he's just that's like a Caldwell Pope selection. Right?
Okay.
And I would have been more satisfied with Caldwell Pope than Kendrick Nunn. So I don't understand why somebody in their front office didn't just negotiate with Caldwell Pope and be like, we want you, but we'll let you go if we can't come to an agreement. Instead, you let him go and you bring a Kendrick Nunn in, I believe on like a 6.3 or something like that. It was something like that. And I'm like, God damn, like that's higher than like vet minimums. And what's Kendrick Nunn ever done? But
I don't know. That could, not to get too deep into it, but I mean, that could be a LeBron thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when LeBron makes this decision.
Don't know nothing about Kendrick Nunn.
Oh man, LeBron knows about everybody.
That nigga don't nothing. He be like Kendrick. The nigga that came off the bench and hit that 3 on me that one time? Bring him on. Fuck it. We want him too.
LeBron is a student of the game. Trust me, he knows about everyone.
All that. What you got, Malk? Who's your hit the showers?
Hit the showers.
Eagles.
Man, I almost did too. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys, just because Dak's got that shoulder strain, and I want to see the Cowboys healthy because I want to be able to laugh at the Cowboys like I do every year when they lose and don't make the playoffs.
So why you got to hit the showers? Because they letting Dak sit out.
Because I hate the Cowboys.
I was impressed with the Cowboys O-line, man. I ain't gonna lie about that.
But I do want the Cowboys to be healthy. So when the Cowboys fans cheer for their team and they still lose and don't make the playoffs, I want no excuses. I don't want no Cowboys fans talking about Dak was hurt. Zeke added on 10 more pounds again after he lost 30 pounds. So Cowboys hit the showers.
Man, shut the fuck up. What you got? What you got, Jay?
I'm gonna give one to my Bengals.
Ooh.
They playing they preseason game right now.
They must be looking trash.
Man, listen. I've been getting reports through ESPN, Bleacher Report, all this shit, talking about how Joe Burrow looked fine. He's looking good. Everybody's talking good. He hasn't thrown a single pass and didn't take a snap in this game. Tom Brady threw 2 passes. 2. Mm-hmm. Burrow ain't been seen in this game. So
what? I mean,
I'm putting him in the damn showers. Teasing me and shit, trying to tell me that he's getting better and shit. Make me believe it. Show me something.
So you should put the media in the hit the showers because they the ones
feel that way too.
I'm pumping them up. Put them both in. Cincy Jungle and the organization.
I am going to wrap it up here. We right at the 2:01 mark. My hit the showers is going to Atlanta. I don't care if it's preseason. Y'all got absolutely murdered by Tennessee. murdered. Like it was
20-point loss.
Murder by
In
Tennessee.
preseason.
Tennessee might be that.
I think they're gonna be dangerous this year. I think they are gonna be dangerous this year, but still, Atlanta, man, and then you let Julio go too, like murder. Atlanta hit the showers. I don't know what y'all planning on doing, especially with Matt Ryan still taking snaps back there.
Really?
We'll see.
I don't know what Atlanta on. That is interesting. I don't know what they on. I don't feel like they ain't thinking about their future. I don't know what they thinking about.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what they plan is. I gotta sit back and see.
But does anybody have anything to take us out before we wrap it up? No?
Nothing on my end.
Well, Malcolm, you just make sure you brush the sand off your toes before you hop back in your house, because I don't want Alexis chasing you around the house with a broom. Jay, as always, we appreciate having you. Brett, you know we love that lovely face gracing us. To everybody out there, once again, like, subscribe, motherfuckers. It don't cost y'all nothing. Click the fucking button. And
Carl the Fed for team captain.
And the Eagles, I heard they taking you back. We'll see y'all next time. Peace, love, and happiness.
Peace, love, happiness.
Peace.
Jesus.